Hey there, it's Stephanie Shea, Chief Astrologer for janspiller.com with your monthly horoscope. This one's for you, Gemini, and it's your special month early birthday horoscope for the month of June 2021. I always try to get these birthday horoscopes for the month where the sun is mostly in the sign of that birthday out early so you can get a special heads up on that astrology. So happy birthday, whether you are a May Gemini or a June Gemini, this one's for you. So coming into June, the sun will be shining in your sign all the way through June the 19th. This really highlights you and your best traits. People generally feel really good when the sun is in their sign, and it may get you some extra attention. You could be in high demand. Now, on the 20th, which happens to be the solstice in Western astrology is always connected with the sun moving into either Cancer or Capricorn. So the June solstice, summer solstice, of course, here in the northern hemisphere, winter solstice down under. Either way, when we have our June solstice, that means the sun is moving into Cancer. When this happens, this will put the spotlight on your resources, your finances, perhaps your self-care and self-worth as well. And sometimes those are tied together. What we value and spend our time and money on has a lot to do with how we feel about ourselves, what we are worth, what our time is worth spending on, and perhaps what your energy and labor is worth. All these may be highlighted during the end of June. Now, this month we have a very special new moon for Geminis, especially. It is a solar eclipse new moon on June the 10th, and it is at 19 degrees of Gemini. So if you were born on or around June 10th, this is an especially powerful new moon for you. I'd say for all Geminis, this is very important new moon. It's sort of your personal astrological new year where you can set some intentions for the coming year, not just the coming moon cycle. And June 10th, or within a day or so of that, those babies will really feel some new beginnings in the year ahead. That's usually what's indicated when a solar eclipse falls on or right near your birthday. For a lot of people, this could be good news. Many people these days have been needing some bigger changes. So welcome that and embrace it. Now, keeping in mind, as you set these intentions at the new moon solar eclipse, your ruling planet of Mercury will be retrograde. If you have watched the May overview in your May horoscope, you know that Mercury went retrograde on May 29th. It is staying retrograde through June 21st. It will go direct June 22nd, and we will actually feel a shadow phase, which could be some residual effects of this phenomenon through July 8th. When Mercury is retrograde, because it's your ruling planet, you might feel it more than other people. Mercury rules our intellect, our thought processes, our ability to make clear connections. That gets a little bit bumpy during Mercury retrograde. It could be a time where you will feel more successful doing things on your own. And it's certainly a time to finish what you've started. So even if you're setting some big new goals at the solar eclipse new moon, June 10th, which I hope you do, realize it will be best to actually take the action steps after July 8th. You're going to have a lot more astrological support for that. In the meantime, Mercury retrogrades are a great time for research. So if there's something brewing that you're interested in doing in a big way, you can spend much of June doing research on this, and you'll feel more confident and informed when you do take that bigger step later. Now we've got Venus, planet of love and money, in the sign of Cancer from June the 2nd to June the 25th. This is especially important for Geminis, Gemini rising people as well. This is highlighting your finances and resources. So again, we're going to have the Sun in Cancer after the 20th, Venus in Cancer much of the month. I really think you will be focusing on your self-care and your resources as well as your value. So you can use that quite positively. Now we've got Mars in Leo on June 11th, and that's going to highlight communications. You might really be fired up about a creative project. And even though we're in Mercury retrograde, it's a good time for self-expression. It's not the best time for collaboration, but Mars expressed through Leo has a lot to do with your own initiative, your shining your light. You don't necessarily have to team up that much with others. You may just feel like doing something creative for fun, and that's going to be completely supported. Okay, some of the bigger picture astrology is the Saturn-Uranus square. This is something I've done a whole video about. You may have already seen it. If you haven't, you can check it out on this channel and learn more. It's some of the defining astrology of 2021 involving the planets Saturn and Uranus. Saturn is in Aquarius all year. Uranus is in Taurus all year. They happen to be making an aspect called a square, which can be tense. Saturn rules for one thing, as well as structure, authority, established systems. Uranus is more of a rebellious planet wanting to shake things up. You can already see how these two planets might butt heads, even if they weren't in a square aspect, but they actually are really facing off this year. It's bringing things to a head about what does need to get uprooted within our systems and having to look at changes of things that have really been entrenched for a long time. Even when people know they need a change, sometimes human nature is more hesitant to change, wanting to hold on to what feels familiar. People often associate familiar with secure. We're getting that concept a bit turned on its head this year. And on a personal level, I think Geminis will really be feeling this, fortunately, in a more positive way. Saturn in Aquarius is actually forming a favorable aspect for Gemini and Gemini rising people because Aquarius and Gemini are both air signs. This is a really nice flow of energy called a trine. If you were born June 4th, you'll feel extra boost from Saturn as far as kind of getting things in order and prioritizing. So when you think of revolutionizing your life and what systems are outdated and need to be changed, you can also be thinking about what are the new rules and structures you're going to write for yourself. It's a very powerful time. This square is in effect even into 2022. But what makes it special this month is they are exact at 13 degrees Gemini for Saturn, Uranus at 13 Taurus. So if you happen to be 13-degree Gemini rising, again, Saturn in Aquarius is trining your ascendant as part of this astrology. I think that gives a favorable boost. You may not be as challenged by this astrology as some other signs. Now, let's talk about our full moon at the end of the month. It's June 24th, 3 degrees Capricorn. This is going to shine a light, again, on things that have been hidden. I think you can get a sense of what's working and what's not working on a very practical level. So you can use this full moon for awareness about work-related matters, but also intimate relationships and the psychology of what's going on in some of these relationship dynamics, and think about what you can take responsibility for yourself and what is actually someone else's responsibility. This is a great full moon to consider all those facets of personal relationships. So I hope you can make the most of June's astrology. So much of it really is supportive for Gemini people. Happy birthday. Be safe and be well, and I will see you here soon with your monthly horoscope.